Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to do a video talking about fragrances that remind me of why I fell in love with fragrance in the first place. There's certain fragrances where they just kind of make your heart soar or your heart sing, and they just bring joy to your life and they remind you why you fell in love with fragrance. So I want to share these with you. Before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get into this. So I want to start with two of the very first fragrances that really catapulted me into loving fragrance, and that was Mon Guerlain by Guerlain and COCO Mademoiselle by Chanel. So both of these are so different, but they, like, even now when I see them, I just have such wonderful memories of them because they were kind of the first fragrances that got me really jazzed about perfume. And what happened was, it was when I was turning 50 and I decided that I wanted a new signature fragrance. And so I smelled so many different fragrances. And prior to that, although I really liked fragrance, I found fragrance really intimidating. I don't know why, but I just really struggled with even going to the perfume section. So I was a makeup freak. I knew everything about makeup, but I knew nothing about fragrance. And there was this guy, his name is Eve, and he actually works at Jo Malone now in West Edmonton Mall. I loved him, and he was working at Sephora, and I would go in and I'd go, "What's your favorite fragrance?" And he would, one of his favorites was from Jo Malone actually, and it was Bluebells and something, I can't remember, but had bluebells in it or something like that. And I just smelt it and instantly thought of the English countryside. Like, that was the vibe that it gave me. And he would talk about fragrance, and he made me fall in love with fragrance, honestly. He was so interesting, and he just had such a passion around fragrance. So me and my sister would go and chat with him, and then he moved on to a different store. Never saw him for years, but he really actually helped get me into fragrance because I just loved how much he loved it and how passionate he was about it. And then I started to sniff all these fragrances, trying to find a signature scent, and I came to the conclusion that I was not a signature scent girl, and that was my problem. And that catapulted me into starting this channel and everything that went from there. So Mon Guerlain, it actually brings tears to my eyes, actually, when I smell it. It's perfumey, it's sweet, it's feminine, it's powdery, and that lavender is so comforting. It reminds me of being a mom. So that's the thing about fragrance, is it can give you a mood, it can give you a personality, it can boost your confidence, it can bring comfort, it can remind you of what's really important. And for me, these two fragrances remind me of being a mom and how much I'm so thankful that I get to be a mom. So yeah, these fragrances, I can't believe I'm teary. It's actually embarrassing. But anyway, these fragrances, they are the reason why fragrance became important to me. They were classy, they were sophisticated, so different, both elegant, both somehow reminding me of being a mom, a wife, a woman. And that is what fragrance can do. Moving on to a couple others. I definitely found that rose-centered fragrances, especially sweeter rose fragrances, I just fell in love with that DNA. One is La Nuit Trésor by Lancôme. This is sexy. It's a bit of a gourmand. It's intoxicating. It's rich. It's delicious. It's sensual and just addictive. Another one is Nina Ricci's L'Extase. This one is so crazy because I, at first, didn't like it at all. It was too rose, too old school, smelt a little mature to me. And then in the end, I fell in love with it. It's got caramel and raspberry in it. Again, smells sensual, but so feminine. And so it's fragrances like this that, again, evoke this mood or this emotion of sensuality and uber feminine, but sexy. These fragrances, like, seriously, they completely did it for me. They still do. I think that they're gorgeous. And they again just evoke this feeling of powerful sensuality, feminine, intoxicating. And yeah, just love them. Other fragrances that remind me why I fell in love with fragrance are some kind of darker fragrances. One is a little more challenging. It is Floral Street's Black Lotus. This has rose and saffron. There's some violet patchouli. There's some dark cherry in here. It smells like leather. It smells very leathery and cigarette-y, and it's kind of ashtray and roses and garter belts and lace. Like, it is really sexy, really intoxicating. And what I loved about this fragrance is, for me, one of the things I love about fragrance is that it tells a story. So sometimes I'll smell a fragrance and it boosts my mood, but other times I smell a fragrance and it just brings a whole story to my mind, because fragrance is art. So this one, I just think of this sophisticated, like, again, I just have fragrances in my collection that smell like world-class assassins, and this would be one of them. Like, she's got this lacy bustier and she's a powerhouse. You don't mess with her. Otherwise, like, her heel, like the heel of her shoe, like, she'll do this weird ballet move, grab her heel, pull it, and a knife will pop out and she'll like, she can take care of herself. But she smells like Black Lotus, a little bit of leather, a little bit of ash, a little bit of naughtiness. It's fantastic. Santal Royale by Guerlain. This is my pirate fragrance. I really loved Black Phantom too for that, but this is a spicy rose. It smells like you're on a pirate ship. There's roses. There's a little bit of almost a, yeah, rose, spice, sandalwood, jamminess. It's so good. But yeah, I think about, she's a piratess and she's been sailing the seven seas for her whole entire life. And she runs the ship. It's from a movie, but she runs the ship and she's a sweet person, and then she gives it up because she falls in love and someone else takes over the ship. But she wears Santal Royale. She smells like roses and spice markets from Marrakesh. And I just love it. Like, I think tall black leather boots, a pirate blouse, a sword, and a parrot. I just love it. Another fragrance that really tells a story is Mevlana in the Medieval City by Untamed Perfumes. This, again, it smells old world. It's so intoxicatingly beautiful, and it doesn't smell like anything I've ever smelled. There's some mastic in here, so there's a bit of a sharp balsamic quality in here. There's cardamom, pepper, dried fruits, and rose, but the base is where the magic happens with this one. This has mastic, tobacco, incense, coffee, vanilla sugar, tonka beans, sandalwood, and mahogany. I definitely get the tobacco and the coffee. Definitely get the incense. It's resinous, it's dark, it's mysterious. And this fragrance reminds me of the way it would smell in a medieval city if you had just time leaped into another realm and you were somewhere in the Middle East or the Mediterranean, and you're walking through a spice market and you can smell like hookah type smells on the air, and the air is just pungent with earthiness and thick, rich, dark coffees with sugars mixed in, and maybe there's Turkish delight, and you're just smelling just a myriad of delectable delights from a time that is gone by. Now, that said, this is a very opulent, sophisticated, gorgeous fragrance that is perfect for winter. This one is a little bit more masculine leaning, but like, honestly, it's unisex. I think of it as a little bit more masculine just because of those resinous qualities, the darkness in it. But it is so beautiful. And again, this tells a story. It's a piece of art. So when I put it on, I feel like I'm immersed in that, and I just love that. I have two other fragrances that I want to share with you that remind me of why I fell in love with fragrance in the first place. And these two are newer to my collection and both affordable. The first one is Feora by Paris Corner. Now, the reason why this reminds me of why I fell in love with fragrance is because I would never have liked this 3 years ago. It's powdery more than anything, and I was so not a fan of powder. I just thought of powder as boring or too mature. It just didn't work for me. I was into fruity florals, mainly fruity, lots of sweet, and something like this just I would have thought of it as old lady. Like, sorry for the term. I know some people hate that term, but that's what I would have thought of when I smelled this. Really mature, vintage smelling. Now, I smell it and I realize that through trying fragrance for as long as I have, that my nose has changed and developed, and I can appreciate note profiles or scent profiles or DNAs that I never would have been able to appreciate before. So for that reason, I just love this one. It's powdery, it's sweet, it's feminine, and it's my favorite DNA right now, which again shows you how we evolve as people over time to appreciate things we never thought we would before. So I love this because it reminds me of how my nose has developed. And the last one I'll mention, I could mention so many, but is Dulzura. And the reason why is I smell this and instantly I have a scent memory. I have a scent memory of being at the circus and the pink popcorn that came in that little, like that thing with the elephant on it. Pink popcorn and candy apples and cotton candy. Smelling that at the circus was so cool and exciting. And I remember the smells of that, the smells of the county fair. And so this reminds me of that. And those were good memories. I enjoy the memory, but I also enjoy how this makes me feel. It puts a smile on my face. It's celebratory. And again, fragrance can be so mood boosting. So where I might wear something like Mon Guerlain to bring comfort, this fragrance would be one that I would throw on for a mood boost. If I want to smell a bit mysterious, I'd put on something like Black Lotus. It can bring scent memories back to us, or it can put us in a certain vibe or mood. Fragrance is amazing. It's almost like a mystery. It's like art that we get to wear, and I love it. What about you? What are the fragrances that made you fall in love with fragrance all over again, or to begin with? What was that first initial fragrance that just kind of wowed you and sent you into the world that we're now in, this adventure called fragrance? What I love about it is that I find that my nose is continually developing and growing, and it's such an adventure as far as what we can experience and smell and how much there is to learn. You can enjoy fragrance as a novice, but the more you delve into it, the more there is to learn, from the chemistry to how difficult it is to blend fragrances, to creating those moods and the mastery that goes behind creating fragrances that stand the test of time. The way it changes our moods, all of it, it's an adventure to me, and I absolutely love it. And I think the thing that made me fall in love with fragrance the most are all of you, and just your positivity and your warmth and your acceptance of one another's opinions, of my crazy shenanigans every week. I just want to say how thankful I am. I'm thankful for fragrance because it brought me into this space, which has been so positive. Now I'm going to go weep. Love you guys. Have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.